Start of video. Ever wondered what happens when the barriers between us and the world's most powerful predators disappear? Today, we're re-looking at some of the most harrowing and tragic stories of animal attacks that took place where people least expected them, zoos and wildlife reserves. These aren't just stories, they're lessons in the unpredictable power of nature. Let's start with a story that shocked the world. On November 4, 2012, 2-year-old Maddox Durkosh was at the Pittsburgh Zoo with his mother. They were at a viewing deck overlooking the African painted dog enclosure. Despite railings and multiple warning signs, Maddox's mother lifted him up onto the railing for a better view. In a split second, he lost his balance and fell 14 feet. There was a net below, but it was only meant to catch small items like sunglasses or phones. Maddox hit the net, bounced off, and landed directly inside the enclosure. Immediately, the pack of 11 painted dogs swarmed him. Witnesses described a scene of pure chaos. His mother screamed, trying to jump in after him, but other visitors held her back as the horrifying attack unfolded. The dogs mauled him while he was still conscious, inflicting over 46 wounds to his head and neck. He bled to death before zoo staff could intervene. A police officer shot and killed one dog to try and stop the frenzy, but the others continued. The aftermath sparked a huge debate. The zoo argued the mother had ignored clear warnings, while the family claimed the enclosure's design was unsafe. No charges were ever brought against the mother, and the family later reached a private settlement with the zoo. The viewing platform was removed, and the painted dog exhibit was permanently closed, later becoming a home for cheetahs. The remaining dogs were sent to other zoos. Next we have Dawn Bronshaw, an experienced SeaWorld trainer with 15 years under her belt. She was known for her incredible bond with the orcas, especially Tilikum, the park's largest whale, weighing over 12,000 pounds. On February 24, 2010, she was performing in the Dine with Shamu show. As the show concluded, Dawn lay on a shallow ledge beside Tilikum, rubbing his head as part of their routine. Without any warning, Tilikum grabbed her and dragged her into the water with incredible force. The audience watched in horror as the massive whale thrashed her around the pool. For a grueling 45 minutes, Tilikum refused to let her go, despite the staff's frantic efforts to distract him with nets and food. By the time they finally recovered her body, the autopsy revealed the true violence of the attack. While drowning was the official cause of death, her injuries were catastrophic: a severed spinal cord, broken jaw and ribs, and her scalp had been completely torn off. This tragedy led to a permanent ban on trainers swimming with orcas during shows, changing the industry forever. Sometimes, even a dream job can turn into a nightmare. In April 1996, 24-year-old wildlife biologist Patricia Wyman had just started working at the Halliburton Forest and Wildlife Reserve. The reserve was known for keeping its wolf pack as wild as possible, and staff were strictly warned against making contact. Just 4 days into her new job, Patricia entered the 15-acre wolf enclosure alone. Normally shy, the wolves behaved differently that day. Witnesses saw them stand up and move toward her, slowly circling her. She must have known she was in danger, but as she tried to escape, she tripped over a fallen tree. That was the moment the alpha male lunged, knocking her to the ground. The rest of the pack followed. They tore at her arms and legs, each wolf weighing as much as 176 pounds. She fought back, but it was hopeless. She died from blood loss within minutes. When police arrived, the wolves were still guarding her body. No one knows why she entered the enclosure, but her tragic mistake cost her her life. On a seemingly normal morning in May 2017, 33-year-old zookeeper Rosa King was performing a routine task, cleaning the windows inside the tiger paddock at Hamerton Zoo Park. The enclosure housed Sisip, a fully grown male Malayan tiger. The zoo's safety protocol was strict. A heavy vertical slide and 2 gates had to be closed to secure the tiger before anyone entered. But that day, a fatal error occurred. All 3 barriers were left open. When Rosa stepped inside, Sisip had full access to the paddock. The tiger mauled her with extreme force. Its jaws clamped down on her neck, severing her spinal cord and causing instant paralysis. The attack was swift and devastating, with deep bites and claw marks across her body. A visitor spotted her lying motionless and raised the alarm, but it was too late. An investigation confirmed there was no mechanical failure. The tragedy was a result of human error. Rosa had walked into the enclosure, unaware that the safety system had failed her. Let's turn to another orca incident. On Christmas Eve of 2009, trainer Alexis Martinez was working with Quito, a 6,600-pound orca at Loro Park in Spain. The session started normally, but Quito soon became unresponsive to commands. As Alexis swam towards a platform, the whale suddenly rammed him in the chest, pushing him under the water. Other trainers desperately tried to regain control, slapping the water and shaking food buckets, but Quito ignored them. He surfaced briefly before going back down to Alexis, even lifting him out of the water on his rostrum. When Quito finally released him, Alexis's body sank to the bottom of the pool. The orca then delayed the rescue by playing with the gates, preventing staff from reaching him. The autopsy later revealed that Alexis died from massive internal bleeding caused by the crushing force of the impact. His chest was broken, and his organs were torn apart. Our next story comes from South Africa. On September 10, 2015, 58-year-old Gian Rankarasamy, a zookeeper with nearly 20 years of experience, was inside the lion enclosure at a game reserve. He was driving a vehicle during feeding time, while tourists watched from their own cars. The safety rules were clear. No one ever leaves the vehicle in a predator area. But for some unknown reason, Gian did. He stepped out, leaving the door open. A lion crept up behind him and pounced, knocking him to the ground. Instantly, the rest of the pride joined the attack. Horrified tourists honked their horns, trying to scare the lions away, but it was useless. The mauling lasted for nearly 15 minutes. By the time help arrived, his injuries were catastrophic. He was rushed to the hospital, but was declared dead on arrival. His family insists he was a stickler for rules and would never have left the vehicle without a reason. Just months from retirement, his death remains a tragic mystery. Finally, we have the bizarre case of Noord bin Manting. On November 13, 2008, the 32-year-old cleaner at the Singapore Zoo deliberately climbed over a barrier and jumped into the white tiger enclosure. Witnesses saw him carrying a broom and a bucket, shouting as he approached the three tigers. At first, visitors thought it was part of a show. But then, one tiger swatted him, knocking him down. He tried to shield himself with the bucket, but it was futile. The other tigers joined in, biting his neck and dragging him further into the enclosure. The attack lasted for nearly 2 minutes, despite people shouting and throwing things. Keepers managed to scare the tigers away, but Noorden had suffered over 90 wounds, including a fractured skull and a broken neck. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators later concluded that he had entered the enclosure on purpose, ruling his death a suicide. These stories are a stark reminder of the wild nature that exists even within the most controlled environments. Thank you for watching. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join my Discord, the link is in the description. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more content. Stay safe out there.